Hello, Adam Ruggiero, host of the Gear Junkie podcast and editor-in-chief, and we have partnered with Seirus to talk to you about layering. Not boring old layering, but how best to layer for different levels of activity, whether it's low output, sitting still, ice fishing, to going for a moderate winter hike, all the way to really getting after it, cross-country skiing or fat biking. So, without further ado, let's get into how to layer for your activity. Let's begin with those of you who are really getting after it with high output activities. That could be fat biking, cross-country skiing, winter trail running, ice hockey, broom ball, anything where you're not taking a rest and your heart is really pumping. For these activities, no heavy layers are going to be necessary. Really what you want to focus on is moisture wicking and keeping layers that are breathable. Let's take a look at your high output base layers. I'm talking about the Seirus Heatwave mapped long sleeve crew. There's matching full length bottoms. These are made with a breathable fabric. They have 4-way stretch. They feature an athletic fit with integrated spandex to improve shape and stretch, anti-chafing seam construction, and antimicrobial mesh at the perspiration zones to help reduce odor. Now, for high output activities, you may or may not need a mid layer. The idea here for high output, again, is to start cold and work your way into it. For a mid layer, you might want to go for like a 100 gram synthetic long sleeve, or if it's super cold, you could go for a lightweight puffy. But the key here is to make sure you're able to dump heat. Now for a shell, what you're looking for, again, is something that will help you manage the heat that you're building up, but also will block the elements. So something like this, we've got a little insulation on the front, we've got perforations on the back, and the whole idea is about dumping heat while blocking the elements. It's all that heat management, really keeping those cold winds from getting in, but allowing all that heat that you're building up on the inside to get out. For mid-output activities, you're looking at things like snowshoeing, downhill skiing, hiking, ice climbing, really anything where you're mixing periods of high activity with some downtime, like say sitting on a chairlift. When it comes to layering, what you're thinking about here is something that mixes breathability for those high output periods, along with good insulation for when you're sitting still. For your base layer, it's important that you're going to want to match something that works for the high output portion with the downtime. Breathability while moving and warmth while resting is key for this. Seirus recommends the Heatwave mapped long sleeve crew from our high output portion with the Heatwave reversible full length bottoms. These bottoms sport a classic fit and Heatwave for warmth while also being rapid wicking, and the brushed back elastic waistband for stay put fit and a gusseted undercarriage for increased mobility. With the mid layer for these mid output activities, insulation is crucial, but breathability still needs to be a concern. It's all dependent on how cold it's going to be outside and about how much downtime you think you're going to have. Now let's talk about your mid output shell. Of course, you're going to want to defend the elements, so you want something that is reliably windproof and waterproof. But for sections when you're really getting after it, you need a material that's going to be breathable. So again, you're looking for something that is a DWR treatment or is a waterproof material, but when you're really going for that high output, it has to allow you to dump heat quickly. Your low output base layer is going to be all about staying warm. Seirus has you covered. Pairing with the full length Heatwave reversible bottom we covered, there's the Heatwave reversible long sleeve crew. This has the same 4-way stretch for improved comfort and fit. It also has that heat reflective material to bounce your body heat back at you, and the material is rapid wicking to keep you dry. For your low output mid layer, again, you want to focus on insulation because you need to stay warm. If you expect to be in the elements, maybe a synthetic insulation, otherwise down is just fine. But the idea is that it keeps you warm, but is close fitting enough that you can put a bigger shell on top of it. And for that low output shell, you're looking for something that really focuses on heavier insulation, and it has made of a material that will block wind and block moisture. Again, if you anticipate going faster at some point and maybe building up some heat, it'll have something like pit zips in case you need to dump heat. But again, the idea here is full protection. Let's not forget, for ideal layering, it is crucial to remember your hands and your face. To that end, Seirus offers a range of accessories to keep your hands and face warm, whether it's a standard face mask to a neck tube or skull caps, and balaclavas. All of these feature a nifty arc talking pocket to give you space and are made with an Evo antimicrobial material to keep you and others safe. For more information on Seirus' products, visit Seirus.com, and for the latest in gear news and more on how to layer, visit gearjunkie.com.